Okay, let's take a look at example 3. And let's give ourselves a little more room. Okay. If Edgar is a philosophy major, then he studied the history of philosophy. So I don't know, let's let P be Edgar's a philosophy major, and let's let H be he studied the history of philosophy. If Edgar has studied the history of philosophy, which we're letting be H, then he's familiar with the works of Plato. Now, I might want to say, oh, let's let that be P, but oh, no, because we're already letting P be he's a philosophy major. So let's let that be L. Sometimes I will go for the second letter in a salient word. So I'm letting that be L for he's familiar with the works of Plato. If you want to let that be F or is familiar with, that's fine. So what can we conclude here? Can we conclude anything? I think we can. This says if P then H, if H then L. So if we snap those things together at the H, we get if P then L. That is a valid inference form. It's actually hypothetical syllogism. Don't need to know that, but it's nice to know that it has a name. Now we are at, if Edgar is an economics major, then he's familiar with the works of Smith. Okay, so if he's an economics major, then he's familiar with the works of Smith. Can I conclude anything at this point? I don't think I can, so I'm going to continue to read. Edgar is either a philosophy major or an economics major. P or E. Can I conclude anything at this point? I think I can. Take a look at P or E. Take a look at if P then L. Take a look at if E then S. That gives us, via complex dilemma, if L or S. You could put S or L down too. It really doesn't make much difference. Note, it does often help to read the or sentence first, and then to read the if then that takes as its front part the first thing ored, and then to read the if then that takes as its front part the second thing's ored. That tends to just slot into the brain more easily. But in whatever order you read them, that is complex dilemma, that's valid. So we are now right here. Edgar isn't familiar with the works of Plato. Isn't familiar with the works of Adam Smith. So he is not familiar with the works of Smith. Can I conclude anything at this point? Indeed, I can. We've already established or proven that either L or S, either Plato or Smith, but not Smith. So I can conclude then that he must be familiar with the works of Plato, which is L. And let's take a look. Therefore, Edgar is familiar with the works of Plato. We got that with a valid inference, disjunctive syllogism, and that's exactly where the author wanted us to go. That's the conclusion. So we were able to work our way from the premises over here on the left to the conclusions over here on the right, using only valid inference forms. So this thing is valid. Now, sometimes when people look at this, they want to put those premises together in another order. They want to say, well, look, if E then S, but not S, so I can conclude something. In fact, you can. You can put these premises together in other orders and eventually work your way to the ultimate conclusion using only valid inference forms and establish that it's valid. It's not like the only way to do it. I am doing it in this way because I want to just establish the pattern of using the premises as we get them, right? But let's just think, if we were to do it in a different order, what would that be? Now, this might be a little challenging. We're going to keep track of it in our head, but let's check. I can put E arrow S together with not S, right? What would that give us? That would give us not E by modus tollens. Hold that in your head. Not E. You could put that together with P or E to get what? P, because we either have P or E, but we have not E. We don't have E. So then that must give us P. But now P will give us H, so we have H. H will give us L, so we have L. And sure enough, that's where we're supposed to end up. So we can put these premises together in a variety of orders. I'm just following the sort of the take them as they come rule. Very good. See you in example 4.